Hi everyone, this is Bernardo's granddaughter, Erica Akayani Chamberlain, and I'm coming to you live today because I got a question from one of our viewers about Bernardo's blood. And I'm going to be perfectly honest here and tell you that I never discussed that with my grandfather, except on one occasion, which is coming to mind now because of this question. But my grandfather was an extraordinary man. I completely acknowledge that. He was extraordinary in his discipline. He literally did the same thing every single day. He did the same thing every day. Health was his top priority, and he made sure that he got all the nutrients and trace minerals and healthy fats and things that he needed, exercise, every single day of his 114-year lifespan. However, he also acknowledged that everyone is different and everyone's chemicals, chemical makeup, physiological makeup is different. He acknowledged that. So when he speaks, he's really speaking for himself and his own experience. Of course, underneath that, he had a profound knowledge of the benefits of fresh fruits, herbs, vegetables, and avoiding things like red meat. He didn't eat chicken. I never saw him eat an egg. He did use butter. He did use cream. He did eat fish daily. Salmon was his main one. If he didn't have salmon, his backup would be sardines. And as you know, he had lamb once a year. That was something, I think, a carryover from a cultural tradition. He was raised Catholic. And, his father said to him, avoid red meat, but, I know that they would have that once a year on Passover. I'm simply stating the facts. I'm not condoning it. I'm not condemning it. I personally don't eat any meat at all. So I don't even know what his blood type is. Isn't that amazing? We never discussed it. However, I do remember around his 110th birthday, because I was visiting him and attending his annual birthday party in Arizona, that someone else, or I think another group of people had, this question seems to come in cycles, in other words, is what I'm trying to say. So I think a lot of people have been wondering about his blood work, and it might have been a friend of a friend, or maybe someone who had even attended the party, but somehow or another, he ended up in a doctor's office who actually specialized in blood, or who was studying this, and he invited Bernardo to come and take a blood test. However, when I remember grandfather talking about it, and how the doctor had this huge screen and that he could actually see, what the different blood cells looked like, and how fascinating it was to look at that, and that the conclusion that the doctor had was, well, your blood is perfect, your blood work is perfect. And I remember when I questioned Grandpa about it, I said, oh, do you remember the doctor's name? Do you remember, where he was? And he didn't. He didn't remember. So, Grandpa was human, and he was kind of great on big concepts and global concepts. And of course, if you were a personal friend of his, he'd remember your name. But he met hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people and talked to people all over the world all the time. And I think for him, the fact that he had a clean bill of health, that was good enough for him. The details of who he saw kind of escaped his mind, and I never did manage to track that down. I just let it go. Now, as far as fish in Fukushima goes, this entire planet is full of radiation right now, and it has been so for a while. So the best thing to do, not only to perhaps not to eat fish if you choose not to do that, but is to keep your liver clean. It's more important than ever to keep your liver clean, because your liver is what is going to protect you ultimately from any cancer. So someone had made a comment about the different things that grandfather ate that protected him in different ways, and of course it did. So apropos to that, I have posted on his website, Age Less Live More store, Bernando's Medicine Chest. It's a new blog post, and these are just 5 foods that he listed as his medicine chest, saying that for him, because these were his go-to things, he never got sick. He never got a cold. I never saw my grandfather with a cold. I never saw him with a fever. I never saw him with a flu. I never saw him with any of those things. He was allergic to penicillin. He was allergic to aspirin. As far as allergies go, those are the only things that I know about. But he was extraordinary. Am I suggesting that you not go to the doctor and get a regular physical? No, I'm not suggesting that. Everyone has to be the steward of their own ship. Everyone has to make their own choices about, what to do. But I think the beauty of Bernando's life and his lifestyle was that he embodied the creed, obedience and moderation, not overeating, being immoderate in all of those things. I never saw him walk away from a table going, oh my God, I'm so stuffed. Never. If anything, he would leave some food on his plate, even if his hostess would try and get him to eat more. He just wouldn't do it. And if he was going out to a speaking engagement, he would actually eat beforehand, before he would go. So in other words, if he had a speaking engagement at, say, 7 o'clock, he would eat at his regular time, at 5:30, 6 o'clock. He didn't want to eat too late because he didn't want to have all that food sitting on his stomach, because he didn't want to have any digestive problems or constipation or any of that. So I know that this isn't exactly what you were hoping for. I have taken the time a moment ago to actually look through the few, medical records that I had based on a hospital visit that he had. Apparently, he fell down one time and injured his knee. So he went to the hospital to have an x-ray to make sure everything was okay and it wasn't broken. But they don't take a blood sample when you injure your knee, so there's nothing there for that. If by some chance I happen to meet the doctor that Bernando had his blood work done by, I'd be more than happy to share that with you. But I don't want to misquote anything or just make up something. Thank you all for your good wishes, and take care until we meet again.